Okay, so let's talk about lots of different forms of graph problems. Okay, so we'll start with connected components. Components. Okay, so you have a bunch of people in a social network, okay, and and they're friends with each other in certain ways, okay, and you have a bunch of products that you can give away for free, and when you give a product to a friend, the friends of that friend will pick it up, and then the friends of those friends, and so it'll spread along these friend links. So who should you give the product to? So in this problem, what you can do is you can identify this group, give one to this guy, then it'll spread. One to someone in this group, identify this group, give one to someone in this group, and it'll spread. And what we have identified here are what are called the connected components. Within a connected component, everyone's connected to everyone else. Okay, so this problem, it turns out we have an efficient algorithm to solve. It's easy. Okay, let's look at another problem that's also easy. Okay, so, every year there's a day in Troy where I work, which will have something like 3 feet of snow. So, you've got a road network with points of interest, okay, that defines a road network. Okay, and let's say, one of these roads, one of these points of interest is the depot, the depot which stores the snowplows. Okay, so what's going to happen? Someone's going to come, get in the snowplow, and drive along each road, plowing as they go along. But they don't want to drive along the same road twice. So the question is, can they hit every road? Can they drive along every road exactly once and come back to the base? Okay. And we saw this problem before. It's the same problem essentially as Euler's Königsberg's bridge problem, where he had to traverse the bridges without repeating a bridge. Okay, and we know how to solve this problem quickly. We can determine whether it can be done and find the tour for the snowplow efficiently. Okay, so this is an easy problem. This is called an Euler cycle. Now, if I tweak this problem a little, it's not the snowplow that needs to hit every edge, but it's a salesperson at their base that needs to hit every vertex. So every vertex is a client and come back home. Okay, so that's called a Hamiltonian cycle, where you need to hit every vertex exactly once. A variant of that is the salesperson needs to hit every vertex once, or maybe more than once. It needs to hit every vertex while minimizing the distance traveled. That's called the traveling salesperson. Okay, so in the Euler cycle version, you have to traverse every edge exactly once. In the Hamiltonian cycle of traveling salesperson, it's not that you have to hit every edge exactly once, you have to hit every vertex exactly once. A small change to the problem. These problems are very hard. We don't know how to determine a good way to visit every vertex and return, or even if it can be done. So these problems are very hard. Okay, let's consider another easy problem. Network flow. Okay, so network flow, where you have you, the source, okay, and you have a destination, let's call it D, and there's a network of ISPs in between you and your destination. Okay, and they're connected in certain ways, and and each of these links between two that forms a connection between, let's say, ISPs has a bandwidth, and you'd like to figure out what's the maximum rate at which you can send packets from you to your destination, obeying the bandwidth constraints, and also obeying another constraint, which is that packets cannot be dropped. So if you send packets here, they must either leave this way or that way, or some combination of that. Packets cannot be dropped. So what's the maximum flow that you can get from the source to the destination? That's called max flow, and this problem is easy. Easy means we have efficient polynomial time algorithms to solve. Okay. Whereas hard just means that we don't know of any efficient algorithms. If you can find an efficient algorithm for a problem like that, bam, you're famous. Okay, let's consider another easy problem. Okay, so it's similar to this problem here, where the task now is to convert some of these roads into highways. Okay, and each road has a certain cost to become a highway, and you need that all points of interest must be connected via highways. So here's an example. So I might start by connecting these guys by highways and this guy, okay, and then I might then connect these two by a highway, and then this guy and that guy, and then that guy and that guy. And now you see every pair of vertices can be reached using only highways. And what you'll see here is I've drawn a tree. If you imagine this guy as the root, I've drawn a tree, children, then this node has a child here, and that node has two children, and this node has a child. So I've drawn a tree. So I've effectively constructed a tree from some of the edges. And I'd like to construct a tree that where after I build these roads, it costs me the minimum amount of money. Okay, so that's called a minimum spanning tree. Find me a highway system that costs me the minimum to build, but uses some of the roads and makes sure that everyone is connected. That's called minimum spanning tree. Minimum spanning tree. Tree because you see I've constructed a tree. Spanning because every vertex can reach every other vertex, and minimum because I want it to cost the smallest amount. Okay, this problem is easy. Okay, now let's discuss some hard problems. So again, think of a network. Okay, boom, 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 boom. Okay, road network, for example, connecting points of interest. Okay, and your task is to place policemen at points of interest so that every road can be monitored, can be surveilled. Okay, and you can think if I place a policeman at a particular intersection here, that policeman can surveil, can watch, the roads that are coming in to that point of interest. And so the question becomes, what's the minimum number of policemen you need to watch all the roads? Okay, so min number of policemen to watch all roads. That we call the vertex cover problem. So the policemen cover the roads, cover the edges. So that's called vertex cover. And that's hard. Okay. We don't know an efficient way to solve the problem. Let's change the problem a little bit. It's not that you have to cover the roads, but you have to service vertices. So imagine that we're placing now not policemen, but we are placing hospitals. Okay. So now this hospital that we have placed, covers, we'll say, dominates this vertex, this vertex, this vertex, and this vertex. Okay, let me put them in red. So red, 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 red. So it dominates those red vertices. What does that mean? That means that in case of an emergency, if you're at one of those red vertices, you don't have to travel more than one hop to get to a hospital. Okay, but I would like that to be the case for all the points of interest intersections, so that nobody in the case of an emergency needs to travel more than one hop. How many hospitals do you need? Okay. How many hospitals do you need? Okay. So the min number of hospitals. So no one drives too far to a hospital. This problem is called dominating set. And it is hard. We don't know how many hospitals you need, let alone where to put them. Okay. And last problem, you're not putting hospitals, but you are putting McDonald's. Okay. So imagine I give you a budget of 2 McDonald's. So you place 1 McDonald's here, and you place 1 McDonald's here. Okay. And so now you ask, how far does a person need to travel in order to reach a McDonald's? Okay. So imagine that I had another person here, let's say. Okay. Now this person has to travel 1, 2, 3 hops to reach this McDonald's. And we say that person is the worst off in this network with respect to how the McDonald's are placed. So you may ask, well, I've got a budget of 2 McDonald's. Where should I place them so that nobody has to travel too far to reach a McDonald's? Okay. So that's called facility location. Okay. So facility location, i.e. where to locate your facilities. So place your McDonald's so no one has to travel too far to get to one. So you place the McDonald's so that nobody has to travel too far to get to one. McDonald's would love to figure out this problem so that, they make the most money because people will come more often if they don't have to travel so far. Okay. And so you can see that, there are a lot of problems that I'm showing you here. A lot of problems coming from very diverse areas. And one of the skills of a computer scientist is to be able to take a problem, okay, like, finding out where to put the McDonald's or where to place the policeman or where to place the hospital and massaging it into graph form so that we can use all the algorithms that we know. Now, in some cases, we have efficient algorithms. In some cases, we don't. Okay? But, that's the nature of the game. Okay? So today, we looked at matching, which is relevant when you want to match resources with, let's say, tasks or dating, and matching is is everywhere. Match medical residents to medical schools to go and do residencies and so on and so on. Match liver donors to liver recipients. Okay, matching is everywhere. We need to do it efficiently. We need to do it stably. We need to do it optimally. Coloring is everywhere whenever you need conflict resolution. So that's two examples of this task of taking a problem and then massaging it into graph form. Get good at that. Okay. And then you'll be able to solve all kinds of problems. And with that, we're checking out.